Good morning. It's Monday morning. And for those of you who didn't find us, it's because somehow I set up this Hangout on my account instead of Monday Momentum. But I've done everything I can, I hope, to point you to us, because I don't know how I did that all these years of doing it on Monday Momentum, and somehow I switched it to me. But either way, I think you should be able to find me. The links are all over the place. So Monday morning, lots of cool stuff again today. And it's really important that you're here, because what you're doing is getting your week started off in the best way possible, which is with a shot of information, some motivation, some friends that are cheering you on. And that's what we do here every Monday morning, 8 a.m., just a half hour of information and stuff. So today we have Linda with me. And Linda, go ahead and unmute, because I know you'll have something great to say at some point, and dive right in and do it. And we have a guest speaker. We're not sure what may be going on. Google Hangouts are sometimes tricky, and I had trouble with the link, but I know Linda found me, so I know that Valerie has access to it. But who knows what it could be. She may pop in the middle. She may not. We're just going to go ahead and do it because we have lots to talk about anyway. So our topic today was keeping your dream alive. And we will return to it later, regardless of what happens with Valerie, because I know she's got lots to say about that, and she's written a couple books about it, actually. However, if it's just us today, we can talk about it too, because part of what Monday Momentum is support for you to keep your dream alive. And my ferocious belief is that your dream, whatever it is really why you're here on the planet, what you're supposed to do. Very, very important. And if you don't chase it and work to grow it, it's just going to chase you, and you're going to wish you had. If you wind up your time on this planet and never followed through on it, never took any action on it, you're going to regret it. So we're here to say, keep that dream alive no matter what. And sometimes you have to go off course for a while, or you have to do other things, but don't let it die, and don't forget it, and don't try to stuff it and bury it, because like I said, it's going to come back to haunt you. So Linda, have you ever had issues around your dream and keeping it alive? Has there ever been a time when you kind of forgot it completely?
Well, good morning, Sarah. Wow. Yeah. Summed up in one word, yes.
Yes. Okay, me too.
I think going back to, what our dreams are really starts with identifying what our dreams are. Taking the time out to really think about what it is that you want, like the old saying, be careful what you wish for type thing. Because if you can't dream, if you can't envision what it is you want, I don't think you're ever going to see it, touch it, feel it, live it. So when I was younger, I used to dream a lot. I used to think all these awesome, incredible things were going to be happening. And then time goes by, Sarah. And more time goes by. And things just come, not to a grinding halt, but they really, really slow down. And it's time to revisit and think about what those things are that I identified a long time ago, what I want. And I think now my dreams are more for the future. They are more for 10 years from now, 20 years from now, not something that I can reach out there and grab right now. So for me, a lot of dreams have gone by. And I'm interested to hear how you tackle yours.
Well, I had a similar experience. I think it's cultural, and children, of course, are natural dreamers and have a wonderful imagination, and we, through our society, sort of squish that out, especially in the business world, scientific world, accounting world. Those well, I want to say, the blue and the green that Bill Sturley would talk about, those areas are very, systematic and orderly. And there tends to be a sort of belief in that kind of culture that dreams are for, artists and airy fairy people and those ones you can't take seriously anyway, or whatever. And the fact is, as we both know, and you just said, we wouldn't have anything that we have if somebody hadn't have dreamt it first. It's the first step in creation. So, the airplane, obviously, or some of the amazing inventions that really have changed the world for all of us. Somebody thought of it first. Somebody had a dream first and didn't let their dream get squished or die or be told that, that's crazy, you'll never be able to do that. I was, there's that wonderful quote from somebody that was running the patent office in the 1800s or early 1900s.
It's been invented already, or
everything that we have has already been invented, or everything that can be has already been invented. It's like, why would anybody ever think that? I mean, and he was running the patent office, so he was like seeing things go all the time, I'm assuming, and yet somehow had decided that this is the end. and yet maybe he was a victim of that kind of mentality. So for me, what I thought of when you first brought up the way we do get sort of shut down, or we are in danger of that, and most particularly our children are in danger of that, is when I first arrived at CEO Space, and I felt the excitement there, and the different projects that people were working on, and the amazing amount of support to go ahead and do it, whatever it was. Yeah, I can understand what you're working on. I think that's great, and here's something that might be able to help you. Was what was happening all around me, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. I can do whatever I want. And then I thought, what did I want? I don't remember what I wanted to do. I mean, that was truly the experience I had. I couldn't remember what I used to dream about. I was just living a life where I was working a job, and it was an okay job. It was a good enough job and enjoyable enough, used a lot of my abilities. But I used to dream. I know my very first dream when I was little was I wanted to be a writer, and somehow that wasn't ever happening. And, I wanted to work in nature. There was all sorts of things, but I had stopped thinking about them completely, and had accepted and didn't even question that I had stopped thinking about them. And so when I was given permission, which is what CEO Space did for me, that to have them again, I had to spend quite a chunk of time, trying on different things. Is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to do? Is this what I'm good at? I mean, what am I good at? You guys tell me what I'm good at. What am I here for? I really did a lot of exploration, and I don't think it's done yet, but I do think it's getting more and more to, these are things you're really good at, and you also really enjoy, that you can offer, that are valuable to other people. And, this is where you should play, because your time on the planet is limited. Are you going to really live your whole life and not do what you want? Why would, really? What for? Why would you do that? Why not, make an effort to actually do what it is that you've dreamt about? So I'm babbling now. Tell me more.
So maybe we need to blend the technology with our dreams. I don't really think it's one focused. I don't think you're either a blue-green or you're a yellow. I think there's a lot of blending that goes on. And if we can even leverage the tools that we know in technology, I know a number of episodes back, James talked about mind mapping. And mind mapping is a high-tech, way of brainstorming with yourself, putting things out there. What if we were to concentrate on what our dreams are and lay them out in a mind map? Where can we take it from there? What are all the little pieces that when we dream about, if we don't capture them, we lose them? But if we're focused on putting them into something, whether it be a hand-drawn mind map, or whether it be an electronic mind map, I think it can be easier for us to reel these things back in and put back into motion some of those things that we are striving for in our dreams. I know one of the things that I really want to do is I want to be able to take several years off, minimum of 1 year off, and do a lot of traveling. And to support my traveling, My dream is to really get out there and leverage the tools that I know. I love to teach. I am a collaborator, a facilitator, and a mentor. And I need a way to bring all those things into making my world travel dream come true. And a number of years ago, I've been doing web development for years. A number of years ago, I took the opportunity to teach some web development classes. And I thought, oh my gosh, am I shifting direction for what I want to do? And then I realized that was part of my dream, to be able to convey information, to make technology easy for my clients. And that teaching gig that I took proved to me that my dream is not all that crazy, that when I go out here and I do these travels and I check into these, great exotic locations, I can run a business workshop, that I can actually teach it, that I can actually make it a destination workshop, a business write-off for myself and for the folks that are attending. So wouldn't that be really cool?
So when are you going to start?
As I said, it's a couple of years out. I am working actually on planning my content now. I just actually rebranded myself. With Interactive Synergy, I've been doing websites for years. That's really not enough. The value that I bring to my clients is really working with them and getting them to realize their business goals and their business dreams. And how can I help them do that? So when I build a website for them, that's just a small part of it. It's really about their overall business strategy and what it is that they want to do, where they want to go. And you and I talked offline a little bit about blogging and social media and things like that. And I think it's really important that all these things tie in together and that I'm helping my clients with that. So my rebrand is not going from, but leveraging Interactive Synergy as my name into Interactive Conversations. And with Interactive Conversations, let's talk about your marketing strategy. Let's talk about your business strategy. Let's talk about, your social media, where, your products and services need to be placed in the market. So it's all tying in with my dream.
Well, and that's the wonderful gift of technology that as we have it today is you can work from anywhere. I'm working from home right now, and I've got my computer, and it does it for me. And it doesn't do it for me, but look, there's Valerie. She's figuring it out. Hooray. It's allowing people to pursue dreams in a way that they couldn't before because of the technology. I mean, the environment I live in, Lake Tahoe, there's very limited business that you can run here. I mean, brick and mortar kinds of business, and most of them are geared toward tourism because there's so much tourism that's happening. So those of us who want to live here but don't necessarily want to run a business like that, now we can do other things like, run video conferencing from our homes that's educating and helping people all over the planet. How cool is that? And that's a dream, that's similar for both of us, helping people and offering information that may help them get to more into alignment with who they really are and what they really want to do with their time here on this planet. I mean, that's what you're describing. People have built websites or had websites built for them that don't represent them very well, and that gets them off course. And to be a website developer that helps them with the entire picture, not just the site, but the whole business, to make sure that the site is going to be a good reflection of that is a wonderful gift. So I know we saw Valerie. I'm wondering if we can hear her because her picture disappeared. Valerie, can you hear us?
Hi, I can.
Yay! So sorry, we're not very visible.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. And I know that there's been problems with your video, but I'm glad you joined us. And I think the cool thing that we should plan on at this point, since we're already kind of halfway through our show, is that you're going to come back. And we're going to practice this in between and make sure that it goes better. So we've been talking about dreams. I don't know if you've been listening to us, Valerie. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell people why that's the topic that we were going to talk about today, the importance of your dream.
All right. Well, my name is Valerie Jeannis, and I am the author of Dare to Dream, as well as the creator of the I Dare to Dream project, which is an international campaign centered around daring women and youth to pursue their dreams unapologetically. With my background being in social work, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people, particularly in high school and college settings. And one of the things that I realized is there are a lot of people who are searching for purpose, and there are a lot of initiatives out there to help people with confidence as well. And I found along my journey that when you pursue a dream, when you have something that you're going after, along the way, you embark on a journey of self-discovery where you will find purpose, direction, and self-worth, unlike anything else. And that's part of the reason why I decided to launch this campaign and why I feel it's so important for people to take the time to discover what their dreams are. And one of the beautiful things about dreams is it doesn't matter what your circumstance is. It gives you an opportunity to reflect and to start designing your life according to what you want it to be, instead of allowing your circumstances to dictate what it has to be.
Fabulous. So I wrote down, that, and let me make sure I got it right. When someone pursues their dream, regardless of their circumstances, they're going to automatically get clearer on what their purpose is and what their direction is, and also grow their self-worth. Is that what you said?
It's not automatic, but it's one of the things that happens along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Have to continue. If you quit along the way, it won't happen, right? But as you're persistently going after something that you're passionate about, that thing may not end up being your dream, but along the journey, you start learning things about yourself. You start discovering different aspects of yourself, and ultimately that will lead to you finding your purpose and that sense of self-worth.
So is it simply that not giving up when there's something that enters your mind as an idea, I'd like to do that, I'd like to be that, I'd like to have that you don't give up on it? Is that the journey that you're talking about? And then as you take that journey, you may end up letting whatever it is go, but meanwhile you have grown as a person?
Absolutely. It's just a willingness to say yes and to continue to say yes. Like, we get ideas all the time. The problem is a lot of times we're very quick to dismiss them and to overlook them, or to disqualify ourselves and stop ourselves from even taking a chance. But as you say yes to things that you're really passionate about, because it's not every idea that's really worth pursuing, but in the midst of all the ideas we get, there are a few that really connects with something inside of us. As you say yes to those ideas, the ones that are connected to passion for you, and you give yourself permission to go on the journey, it can change the course of your life. I know for me personally, my passion has always been around empowering women and youth, but how I discovered it was I was in a relationship that was very difficult, and it really wasn't healthy. And I remember one day I was sitting, and I was in church, and I had the opportunity to just be an observer. And I noticed that there were a lot of young women around. And at this age, because they were in this stage in between, they weren't quite children, but they weren't young adults anymore. So there was like a gap of services, so to speak. And so I decided, let's just meet up for 1 hour once a week. And that led to a mentorship group. And the reason I started it was because I was just like, man, if I had somebody speaking into my life specifically around that 15, 14, 13-year-old age, I would have made a lot of different choices. So I wanted to see them make better choices. And that mentorship group led to me, I loved it so much, I decided to pursue a degree in social work. While I was pursuing my degree in social work, one of my ideas was I want to start my own residential nonprofit. And that idea led to me pursuing my master's in social work, because I thought if I'm going to have my own nonprofit organization for young women aging out of foster care at the time, I would need to have as many credentials as possible to make sure I have the experience to support them. Now, while I was in the master's program, after having a conversation with one of my professors, I realized, you know what, I love helping women. I'm not interested in pursuing the nonprofit route. So that led to me searching for alternatives. Because, again, I discovered that I really have a passion for women empowerment. And along the way, I realized that I could do it as an author. I could do it as a speaker. I could do it by doing workshops and presentations. But it all started with this simple idea to have a mentorship group to support young women so that they can make better relationship choices. And I believe in the same way, when we have an idea, it can lead us on a journey that will eventually get us to our purpose.
Great. So let me just interrupt you a minute, because I know I saw Linda going, yeah, when you said something about how impactful you thought it might have been if there was someone like you involved with you when you were 15 or so, and helping you and being a mentor for you. So I'm curious, Linda, why were you shaking your head? Yes. Was there something that resonated for you?
Oh, it is something. If I could go back and change time, that is what I would change. I did not have the mentors. I did not have the connections. I did not have the role models when I was growing up. And that would have made a world of difference. So I love what Valerie's doing with her people, and I just think it's absolutely incredible. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I think there's always you could always use more examples of different ways to live, and especially examples of people living in their dream, living an empowered life, believing that they have the ability to create what they want, versus perhaps being surrounded by people that don't believe that. Mm-hmm. My question for you, Valerie, is when you said say yes to things, but say yes to things that you're passionate about. Forgive me, but some of us might not be able to tell, what am I passionate about? What am I not passionate about? I realize that is a skill we'd all like to have, but as we were talking about earlier, I think sometimes it's kind of beat out of us, not literally beat physically, but throughout life we get messages that our dreams don't matter, or that this is the direction we should take and that behavior is not okay, or whatever it is, so that at some point we become people that really don't feel very much and don't feel excitement even. And so do you have keys or ideas to help somebody when they're presented with an opportunity to decide, does that one really excite me or not? Or am I crazy to think that there are ways to know if something is a passion for you?
I don't think you're crazy at all. Actually, matter of fact, I think that's a really good question. You're right. I feel a lot of us have lost that connection with ourselves. And if I could say anything regarding that, it would be we need to learn to listen again, and not learn to just listen to people, but learn to take the time and to step back and actually check in with ourselves, check in with how are we feeling about certain things. No matter how much it's been beat out of you or suppressed, there's always that, it's still there. I believe we all have an inner voice that speaks to us, that guides us, whether or not we pay attention, whether or not we, how loud is it, that's debatable depending on your circumstance, but it's there. And what I found is learning to just be quiet and not be so quick to give a response, but to actually make a commitment to take time to listen. How am I feeling about this? What is my initial gut reaction? Sometimes we may not have the words for the feelings that we're having, but there's always a feeling. There's always a something. There's always an indication. The challenge is becoming sensitive to that again. And if you can't hear it or feel it, then just, even if you do say yes, saying yes with the intention of being mindful of how your experience is while you're doing it. Even if you don't have a gut reaction going in, or you're not clear about your gut reaction going in, if you do say yes, pay attention to things like, how do you wake up in the morning when you know you're about to do it? Or I remember there was a job I had, and I was excited when I got it, but then I noticed every time I had to go into work, the night before, I would hate going to sleep. And it would take me so long to wake up in the morning because I absolutely did not want to be there. That's my body talking to me. That's a message coming through. I didn't understand why at the time, but I did not like being at that place. And part of the way that it manifested was in my sleeping pattern the night before, and in the fact that it was such a struggle for me to get there on time.
That's a really interesting one, and I think it could be a whole nother show, just learning to listen to our bodies again, especially, I mean, I think children do. They may not be able to articulate what they're hearing or what they're feeling, but, you know, a kid will just, when they're mad, everybody knows it. They're listening, responding to the messages that their body is giving them. So, fabulous. And unfortunately, we're almost out of time. I want to make sure that everyone knows that Valerie's information will be on Monday Momentum, the website, so that they can track you down and find out more, and that we're going to bring her back and figure out a way to be able to actually see her when we do. But in the couple minutes that we have left, Valerie, is there anything else that you really just want to make sure that you get said to the people that are watching today? And they're, you know, people that may be thinking that their own dreams are crazy or a little bit lonesome, or just need another shot in the arm to remember why it is they're doing what they're doing. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, look, daring to dream, it has nothing, again, I said it earlier, it really has nothing to do with your circumstances. If anything, it is a refusal to allow your circumstances to dictate what you will or will not do, or what you can or cannot do. If I could encourage those who are listening to do anything, it would be to get back to a place where you give yourself permission to dream the dreams of your heart. And if it has gotten to the point where perhaps we may have forgotten how to dream, that's why I love people's stories. Go read somebody's story, learn somebody's story, listen to somebody else's story, and as you do, allow that to inspire you again. There's so many amazing stories out there about other people's journeys to finding their way. If you find you're in a place where perhaps you're not as excited to wake up in the mornings, or you're not as passionate about what you're doing and you don't know what your options are, check out the stories of others.
That's a great tip. Thank you. So we will, like I said before, make sure that Valerie's contact information is available, since right now we can't see it. Linda, why don't you say whatever you want to say, goodbye, and I'll close it out, and we will see you all next week.
Well, I have definitely enjoyed today's topic about dreaming, because I think it's something that I've back-shelved for too long. And even just mentioning what my dreams were and wanting to take my business to this level where I can do it while I'm pursuing what I want to do is just so incredible. So I'm going to think more about this. And I absolutely loved the topic and loved what you had to say, Valerie. So Looking forward to the next time you're on. Linda Kay, Interactive Synergy and Interactive Conversations.
Woo-hoo. So, Sarah Coolidge, you can find me right there at My Monday Momentum. Yes, Valerie, great stuff, and I want to celebrate that you stuck with it. You know, I can imagine just saying, forget it, I can't get on, I give up. That might be something I might have done at least a few years ago. I don't know about now. So, yay for you, and good stuff. We will figure out a way to get you back on and have your beautiful face here when you do it. For the rest of you, thank you for joining us today, and we want to see you again next week. Now it's time to get to work. You roll up your sleeves and go out there and chase your dream. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're moving forward, and we'll be here saying yay for you every Monday morning. Come back and see us again. Let us know how we're helping and what else you'd like to hear about. Like us and love us, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a great
Bye.